Gosh, I'm so stressed out. Are you stressed? I'm Dr. Paul. I should know how to handle stress. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I got some ideas about that. Let's talk about that today. As we get into this stress discussion, I think we first make a distinction between brain and mind. Brain and mind are not the same thing. Your brain is an organ in your head, part of your body. When I talk about mind, I'm referring to the agent inside of the machine, the thinker, the soul, the spirit, the you that's inside of that body. And you have a body, which includes a brain, but you're not your body or your brain. When we're dealing with stress, we look at a brain component and we look at a mind component. So give me a moment here while I draw the brain for you. Isn't it awesome that my video editors can make that happen so fast? This is your brain. For those of you who are around in the 80s, you know what's next, right? This is your brain on drugs. No, that's not where we're going today. But that might be relevant to think about as well. Your brain has different parts that do different things. So did you know which part of your brain controls eyesight, vision? Some of you got it right. And most people guess incorrectly on this. They think it's up here by the eye somewhere. But the visual cortex of your brain is clear back here in the back. That's the part that handles all the visual input from your eyes. It's in the occipital lobe right here on the back of your head. I don't know why, but that's how we're designed. There's a little part up here. It's about the size of your thumb. It's called the motor cortex. And you've got one on the right side, one on the left side. This controls all of the muscles and movement in your body, and the right side controls the left side of your body, and vice versa. Don't know why it's designed that way, but that's how we are. Up here in the front, the prefrontal part right behind your forehead, that's in charge of a lot of different things, but let's shorten it to this. Thinking, logic, problem solving. Those kinds of things are happening up here in the frontal or prefrontal part of your brain. Now there's another part located down here kind of near the brain stem. Let's label that the limbic system. The limbic system is actually a family of structures within your brain that all have a similar responsibility, and the short version is survival. Your limbic system takes care of keeping you alive, so it's always on the outlook for threat, something that's going to pose a danger to you, so that it can react in a way that keeps you safe. The reaction that the limbic system kicks into, collectively we call the fight or flight response. You've heard of this, right? Which makes total sense, because if you're in danger, what should you do? Well, put up your dukes or get the heck out of there, right? Because you're in danger. Thing about the limbic system is it doesn't discern, and quite frankly, it doesn't care about the difference between a threat that is real and a threat that is perceived. It doesn't know the difference. This is why when you go to a movie, for example, you ever been in one of those really intense movies, and as the intensity increases in the movie, you find yourself gripping those handrests and your heart starts to beat, right? And your breathing can get shallow. My wife laughs at me because I'm dodging stuff in there. And it's not even 3D. What gives? Well, your limbic system is reacting to a perceived threat. It's just light on a screen and sound from the Dolby. But your limbic system doesn't know that. So it's kicking your body into that fight or flight response. Now, I took the time to explain some of the neurophysiology to you because stress has to do with your brain responding to threat. What are you stressed about? Oh, the bills are coming due. That looks like a threat. And your body is reacting, your brain is reacting, sending chemicals into your body that cause you to be keyed up, to be in that fight or flight response. This isn't necessarily helpful Because the other thing that happens, we've got brain scan studies that show this. When that limbic system is active, when it's really fired up, there's actually a decrease in blood flow to the prefrontal part of your brain. What are you not doing? Right. What are you going to need to handle the problems that you're trying to solve? Do you need a fight response? Do you need a run away response? Or do you need a thinking response? So part of dealing with stress is understanding how our brain is reacting to those perceived threats. I'm going to give you 2 brain hacks to handle the brain side of managing stress. The first one is breathing. Breathing. Now, I know you do this every day. You're breathing in and out all day long. I know. I'm talking about a special, conscious, intentional form of breathing that helps to condition your limbic system to chill out so that you can send the blood flow back up front where you're going to need it to solve the problems that you're dealing with. This is the first thing that I teach in marriage counseling. People come in and they're fighting. What's up with that, right? Well, they're feeling threatened. So we got to calm down that fight or flight response and reactivate the prefrontal part. Quick little breathing exercise for you. In through the nose. Overinflate the lungs a little bit. Just hold it for a few seconds. And then out through the mouth, nice and slow. Restrict the flow here so that it slows it down because you want to have about twice as long on the exhale as you did on the inhale. Practice that. I would recommend that you do 3 to 5 reps. Reps meaning in through the nose, hold, out through the mouth. 3 to 5 reps, 3 times a day for 5 days. If you will do this, you will start to condition your limbic system to respond to you, to the mind part of you, to the conscious part of you, so that we can calm down that limbic system fight or flight response and get the prefrontal lobe engaged again in doing the thinking and the problem solving. Here's the second brain hack for the brain. Regular exercise. Oh my gosh, you guys, when you look at the clinical literature on this, exercise is so important to our brain health. I know you probably already knew this, and hopefully most of you are already doing this. If you're not already, this is one of the best things you can do for your brain health that will help you to manage stress. And I can't give you a specific workout routine or an exercise routine. You go look at some other videos for that. I'm not a physiologist, I'm a psychologist, but I know that you need to have at least three days a week where you're doing at least 30 minutes of a good cardiovascular exercise. Get your body moving. The research also shows that even if it's not intense, if you're walking, in fact, walking is one of the best ones you can do. It triggers things in your brain and subsequently in the rest of your body that allow you to metabolize differently. And it's like sending a signal to your body to go into a different mode. And that different mode helps us to handle and manage stress appropriately. Now, let's shift from brain over to mind for a moment. The thinker, the you inside of the body, there's a conscious portion of your mind, there's a subconscious portion of your mind. I think of it as the upstairs and the downstairs. If you were to collapse those two together and you've got 2 halves. And the upstairs part is in the light. Conscious means aware. Awareness. So you know what's going on in your conscious mind. Subconscious. Sub means below, like subway, submarine. Subconscious is below your awareness. You're not as aware of what's going on down there. We've got a bunch of other videos on working through our thinking, using metacognition, staying in a positive mode. All of those are going to be helpful to you. Here's the part that I want to emphasize. From the subconscious part of your mind are a lot of questions. Those questions trigger stress. For example, what if? Yeah, the what if question. Probably the most stressful question that's hanging out in the basement of your own mind because your subconscious can't just let that alone. When your subconscious asks the question, what if this happens? What if that happens? It also comes up with an answer. And the default answer from your subconscious mind is, you can't handle that. Now, folks, it's not true that you can't handle it, but if your subconscious tells you you can't handle it, what did we just trigger in the limbic system? Huge threat, chemical party starts because the limbic system sends a signal to the glands in your body to respond to that threat through the fight or flight response. Do you see how the mind and the body, or specifically the brain, interact to cause that stress response? So from a mind perspective, here's what we get to do. Answer the what ifs. Answer them. And I'm talking, bring them upstairs into the conscious part of your mind where you get to answer them truthfully and according to principle. And here's the true answer. And I'm saying this with all of the clinical experience and life experience that I have. You can handle it. In fact, I'm going to be as bold as to say there is no earthly experience that you can't handle. And I know that sounds bold, but I've talked to so many people who have experienced things far more difficult than whatever it is you're handling. And I say that with an acknowledgement that what you're handling is hard. Yeah, I get that. But I've talked to people who have been abducted, who have been tortured, who have experienced some of the most difficult things you could ever imagine in life. And guess what? They handled it. And I don't think you're a special case. As special as you are, I know, but you're not a special case. What that means is all the laws, the natural laws, the principles apply to you too. And this is one of those. You can handle it. What if you believed that? What if you believed from a mind perspective that you could handle absolutely anything? Anything that happens to you. What would happen to your fear? What would happen to your stress? Okay, so go use those things to handle your stress. Share them with somebody else. I'm going to be back tomorrow. I'll see you then.